Hello friends, this is Karmali AN from Savita School of Law. I am going to say about Article 13 of the Indian Constitution and we'll be seeing deeply into it. Before going into Article 13, we'll see about Indian Constitution. So Indian Constitution, which was adopted on 26 November 1947 and which came into force on 26 January 1950. So initially what it has is that 395 articles, 22 parts and 8 schedules was it. But now at present 448 articles and 25 parts and 12 schedules it has. So under that we'll see the part 3 which is describing about the fundamental rights and article 13 of that. Article 13 which describes about the laws which are inconsistent with the fundamental rights. So it's wholly about the judicial review. Before knowing that we should know who is Montesquieu. So he is the person who introduced the doctrine of separation of powers. We'll see what is the separation of powers. State. So there is a three organs in a state. One is about the legislative, next is executive, and third is about the judicial. So here state considered to be as an Indian state. The work of the legislative is to make the laws and executive to enforce the laws and judiciary is to interpret the laws. So the laws which has been made by the legislature is against or when it is inconsistent with the fundamental rights, it will be subjected to the judicial review by the judiciary. So judiciary will interpret that laws that is said to be as a judicial review. It is also said to be as a doctrine of checks and balances. Now we'll see about the Article 13. So before that, Part 3, which exists with the same objective that our rights and freedoms should be protected against the state arbitrary invasion. So this means that the state action should be judged on the basis of their impact on rights and the freedom of the people. So Article 13 involves the four principles as mentioned there. First one is about the doctrine of severability, and second is doctrine of eclipse, and doctrine of waiver, and doctrine of retrospective effect. So Article 13 Clause 1 which describes about the pre-constitutional law, 13 Clause 2 post-constitutional law, and 13 Clause 3 law and law in force, and 13 Clause 4 which says that Article 13 will not apply to any law which has been made or which is made under the Article 368 of the Constitution. So we'll be seeing Article 13 Clause 1. So law which has been enacted before the enactment of the Constitution of India are in a violation of a fundamental rights or which is against the fundamental rights, then the validity of that law will be checked based on the two doctrines. Based on which doctrine is that? Doctrine of severability or the doctrine of eclipse. These are the two doctrines. Firstly, we'll be seeing about the doctrine of severability. So let us consider this is an act. It contains these sections. So in that two sections is violative of fundamental rights. Initially they will be removing that two section and see whether the act is functioning properly or not. In case of not functioning properly, they will be making void of the whole act. Not they will be taking they will be making void of that two sections. This is about the doctrine of severability or a separability. So under this doctrine, there was an important case known as A.K. Kopalan versus State of Madras, which is in Supreme Court case. Here, the Preventive Detention Act of 1950 was challenged. Under this Act, Section 14 was challenged as it was violating the fundamental rights. Later, what happened is that initially they have been removing that particular section from the Preventive Detention Act and see whether the rest of the Act was enacting properly or enforcing there properly. They see that it was enforced properly, so that the rest of the act seems to be enforced and that particular section seems to be void. Next case is about the state of Bombay versus F1 Balsara. It is also Supreme Court case which is also seems to be an important. So next one is about the doctrine of eclipse. It is similar to that of the solar eclipse. We know there is a sun, there is a sun and moon and earth. So the rays and the radiation from the sun will be hidden by the moon without passing it to the earth. So in the place of sun there is a pre-constitutional law, and the place of moon there is a fundamental rights, and earth is the present state. So when the pre-constitutional laws is against the fundamental rights, then the fundamental rights will shadow that pre-constitutional laws and make to be in a sleeping state or a dominant state. That is which makes the law unenforceable, but not that law seems to be void ab initio. there was another case law known as Bikaji Narayan Dargaz versus State of MP. So here Birar Motor Vehicles Amendment Act of 1947 was challenged in the Supreme Court. What happened is that they have been it is seems to be violative of fundamental rights, and later the doctrine of eclipse has been used here. Nextly, we'll see about the Article 13 Clause 2, which says about the post-constitutional laws. So in case any laws which has been enacted after the enforcement of Constitution of India and which seems to be violative or inconsistent with the fundamental rights, then the status of that particular law or that particular statute would be based on the same doctrines which has been said earlier, that is the doctrine of severability and doctrine of eclipse. So, for example, let us see in a case law Shreya Shingal versus Union of India, which was decided in 2015. So, in this case, what happened is that the IT Act of 2000 was challenged, and Section 66A was seems to be violative of fundamental rights, which is against the online freedom of speech and expression. So, here the doctrine of severability has been used. So, initially, what happened? They have been removing this section and saying whether the act is enacting and enforcing properly. After that, reviewing that, it seems to be good and effective. So that particular act wasn't effective till to date. Next, we will be seeing about the Article 13 Clause 3, which says about what is law and laws in force. So if any laws which is inconsistent or in derogation with the fundamental rights, then the laws which has been made after that will be seen to be as a void and void ab initio. For this reason, how the law should be made is that it should not affect the basic structure. So the basic structure doctrine was mentioned in Keshwanda Bharati versus State of Kerala. We'll see what is law. So here law includes any ordinance or order, bylaw, rules and regulations, or any notification that has been passed and given by the legislature is considered to be as a law, and laws in force, which is also includes the law passed or made by the legislature or any other competent authority within the territory of India before the commencement of this constitution is considered to be as an laws in force. So there is a two exception for this, which is not considered to be as a law. So the administrative directions, instructions, or guidelines. So this is not considered. It is not considered to be as a law, and there is no mean as enforceable by the legal obligations. And second one is that personal laws are also not considered as a law under the Article 13 Clause 3. Nextly, Article 13 Clause 4. So Article 13 does not apply to the amendment of this constitution made under the Article 368. That is, the law enacted will be amended under the Article 368 by the Parliament. So the Parliament has the power to amend or make any laws under the Article 368. So they are asking that whether that amended law will come under the constitutionally amendment law or considered to be as a law or not. So this was decided in many cases. So first case is about the Sankari Prasad versus Union of India, which is 1951 and decided by the Supreme Court case. Here what they said that is the meaning of law does not include the constitutional amendment, and which is also not considered to be as a law. Next, in the case of Sajjan Singh versus State of Rajasthan, constitutionally amended laws are not considered to be as a law. So this was that a judgment they have been given. Nextly, after this case, finally there was a Golaknath case. In this case, what is that the power of the judicial review is supreme, and constitutionally amended laws is considered to be as in laws. As this was going on, it couldn't be digested by that, and there was a 24th Amendment Act of 1971 in the Constitution, which included the Article 13 Clause 4 in Article 13. This was happened during the time of Indira Gandhi government, which says that constitutionally amendment laws will not be challenged in the Supreme Court, and which is also not subjected to the judicial review. And at last there was a case, Keshwanda Bharati versus State of Kerala. So in this case they have been stating and challenged the Article 13. What the court held is that the laws can be made without affecting the basic structure. So this is all about the Article 13, and there was another case now known as Keshav Madhav Menon versus State of Bombay. In this case, what they held is that Article 13 has no retrospective effect. Retrospective effect is that pass back, which deals about the laws of pass back. It will not affect or punish the people who has been done the offense already or which has been done already. So this is all about it. Thank you.